Welcome back to Guns and Yellow Ribbons. On Saturday, I saw Arsenal grind out a hard-fought 1-0 win away to Fulham. Not the prettiest, but exactly what kind of result title contenders need. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to another podcast by Guns and Yellow Ribbons. This is your Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Enjoy the show.
Good evening, Trevor. Good evening, Andrew. How are you both? Andrew, you good?
Yeah, very well, mate. Very well. Even better after an absolute storming weekend. What a weekend for the Arsenal.
It was really good, really good. A good trip as well down the Thames. You know, I'm nearly 40 years in London and I've never taken a boat trip down the Thames before. Trevor, you done it?
Boring Arsenal. Boring Arsenal. Boring Arsenal. Boring Arsenal. Ferg, yeah, I did it once, mate, but I get seasick getting in the bath for me, so I try and give it a miss. Yeah, so I met you all there, and I thought, to be honest and fair to you boys, you were in a better state than I thought you'd be in when you come in that ground, boys.
Yeah, I wasn't too bad, and to be honest, I didn't have a beer after that at all. I didn't even go to the pub afterwards. Well, I did, but the queues were too long. I was knackered. I've been on my feet since I think it was about 10:30. We're getting the tube down and then hanging around and then standing on the boat and everything else. But it was really good, really good. Got some photos as well of when we were on the boat. So there was two boats. That was the first boat that sailed out, and then there was a second boat. This was us, and you can see Lyle's flag. And this is where Jason caught us as we came down the Thames, which was really funny. I've got a video of that somewhere, I think, where we're singing on the boat. But yeah, it was really good. It's an experience I would do again. I did enjoy it, but I'd make sure the weather was just about right, which I think it was on Saturday. So let's have a look at this game then. So we have Fulham playing Arsenal. The lineup against Arsenal was Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Calafiori. Same back four. Zubamendi, Rice, and Eze. Saka, Trossard, and Gyökeres up top. Same back four. Trev, what did you make of it? You know, if it's not broken, you know, I think we said it before, the best back four in Europe.
Do you know what? Who'd have thought it? Even at the start of the season, that with the amount of choices we've got across the back four, I mean, we've got so many great defenders. Who'd have thought at the start of the season that we would have actually been a settled back four for the last few games, you know? But they've been superb. How can he not pick them? How can he not pick any one of the four that start at the back? I can't say a bad word about any of them. They're just four players playing out of their skin, you know? 3 goals conceded this season. Is it? I'm not sure. I've not checked that, but I think it's 3 goals conceded this season. You know, one of them will won the free kick that no one was ever going to do anything about. I'm just buzzing with it. And as I started me chant with at the start of the show, boring Arsenal. That's how it always used to be, right? Go somewhere. The team don't want to play against you. They're going defensive. They're not bothered about playing. They're just bothered about cheating or trying to win a free kick. And you find a way. You find a way to win, and you win 1-0, and it's fantastic, amazing.
Yeah, and like, the results went our way this weekend, which I'm sure we'll talk about as well. Trossard starting as well, deservedly so. I know I said on Friday, Andrew, that I would have started Martinelli and brought Trossard on, but you know he proved his worth in the game, and I know we'll talk about the goal and so on as well.
Yeah, I thought he played well. I thought, you know, he really gave a really good account of himself. And I've said to you before as well, I think he really should. He's a great player off the bench, you know, to make an impact, but he's really starting to show that he wants to be in that starting 11 and really wants to make a difference. I thought he had a great game.
Yeah. Trevor, if we look at Fulham a little bit as well, because they're our opponents, and we don't often do this, but Fulham, they set up with a back four that didn't come out very much. They were played very, very deep. The back four was on their 18-yard line. And they just, they looked to break up the play a lot. They even knocked one of their own players over and rolled around like head injuries. And Anthony Taylor took the bait every time.
It was a bit sad, I thought, from Fulham. I've got nothing against Fulham. I've always enjoyed going there, and I've always enjoyed watching Fulham play football, but I didn't enjoy it against us on Saturday because they didn't want to play against us. I think they knew that they were outclassed all over the field, so they came up with a game plan that they were going to go down at the slightest touch. They were going to waste time for as long as they possibly could from minute one. And fortunately, it didn't work. And it was a 1-0, but the much better side won 1-0. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it all worked out right. But, yeah, I was disappointed with Fulham's game plan. They didn't try and play against us. And just before you move on, Ferg, Trossard, I mean, I've got a lot of time for Trossard. At the start of the game on Saturday, Ferg, I don't know how you saw it, mate, or I take it you were watching on the telly, Andrew.
Yeah, I was, mate.
But he had a few bad touches, Trossard, right at the start, and just one or two of the fans in the stand just started to get on his back a little bit. And I was fuming, absolutely fuming. And fortunately, they weren't near enough to me because I'd have got myself in trouble because I'd have given them a gobful because I was annoyed with them. But after that, he just played. I thought he was brilliant. And Ferg, you rightly made the Martinelli-Trossard comparison about starting and substitutions. Well, I think it's turned full circle, mate, because we've now got Martinelli coming on for games, mate, and playing out of his skin. So it's gone full circle and it's working, I reckon, mate.
Yeah, I'll make you right. I didn't hear anybody getting on Trossard's or any players' backs, really. I did hear at some points when we were passing the ball backwards and sideways a little that people wanted a bit more forward play. But I was right down the front, so you don't hear a lot. The only thing I did hear every now and then is you definitely do get a tourist element to the away crowd at Fulham, because there was a few "what do you think of Tottenham" numbskulls in there, which is always crap.
I'll tell you what, though, on the TV though, literally the first thing I think I said it in the group chat. You boys were phenomenally loud, and it's all you could hear for like the first 5-10 minutes. All you could hear was the Arsenal chants going up. It was superb to listen to.
You know what the recipe is? 4 hours on the Thames drinking beer and shots.
I'm surprised you lot could even sing a straight song after that, because I mean the videos that I've seen, that looked absolutely epic.
It was. I get some stuff up. Go on, Trev. Go on.
I'll tell you now, right? That was one of the best away ends performance from Arsenal fans I've seen in a long, long time, and we're always good away from home, but they were excellent, the Arsenal fans. They took it a step higher at Fulham, and from start to finish, I was so proud of the Arsenal fans. I didn't actually hear one "what do you think of Tottenham," so they must have been down the front in the cheap seats, because I
Probably, Trevor, yeah.
back this game, yeah. But
yeah, I expect so.
Absolutely over the moon. And I've got to sing my own praises here. I put out a little tweet at halftime, and I just said, we're playing towards our own fans this half. Maybe we can shout and scream them to a 1-0 win. And we did. We won 1-0, right? But I'm telling you now, the Arsenal fans, when Saka was going across to take those corners, the plaudits the boy was getting, wonderful. I can't praise them enough, the Arsenal fans. I can't.
8 minutes it took him to mention that he called it.
8 minutes.
I thought it was going to take a lot longer than that.
Let's show you that video. It's not a video I took; it's a video of somebody else on the same boat that we were on, just down the Thames, just to finish off on that side of things. So. It was just like that the whole way along. There was bits where it calm down and sing along some of the disco music as well. But it was really good. It's gone under all the bridges, and the first boat, unfortunately, they got egged, but the second boat we didn't get egged at all, so that was quite good.
Next year, we're having people on every one of them bridges, and we find the low life that decided to throw eggs. Come on, then we're going to throw them after the eggs, and it's going to happen. So, yeah.
We've mentioned Trossard, and we need to look further back down the pitch. Calafiori, he was one of in the first half especially, was great. Three massive shots. It's only for his hair. It's hair.
I was that serious about marrying him. I was looking at rings today, honestly. The boy, for someone that we'd never heard of. I'm talking a lot tonight. I'm sorry, boys, but I'm so happy with this result. I'm just Calafiori. What a shame about that goal getting disallowed. Another worldie, but he just purred his way through the game. And the way he works with Gabriel, Ferg. Did you notice it, Ferg? The way he plays. Andrew, did you on the TV? Mm-hmm. The way he works with Gabriel. Oh my Lord!
It gets himself into some positions up front as well. I mean, he was like one point. He's right behind Gyökeres. He's kind of like almost pushing Gyökeres into the 18-yard box, like he wants to go a bit further. He was absolutely superb. I mean, with that, I was gutted when that was given offside. You can see he is literally just offside. I didn't think he was at first, but as soon as you saw the replay, you can clearly see he is. But what a finish! I mean, it was very similar to the City one, wasn't it?
Yeah, very, very similar. But it was three chances, opportunities he had to take shots like the one that was disallowed, the one that went over the bar, and I think it was one that went around the side of the post. But he from a player that we were questioning. Possibly a little at the end of last season, maybe coming into the beginning of this one, he has stepped up his game hugely, Trevor. And I think we said, who would we start first, Calafiori or Miles Lewis-Skelly? And we both agreed that Calafiori probably owns that spot right now.
Oh, he undoubtedly does. Of course he does. Look how he's playing. He's just off the scale. Well, I've said all the words I can say about Calafiori. He's superb, but I'm not going to drift off Calafiori, but I'm just going to sow the seed in your head, Ferg. We talk about Calafiori a lot, right? But we must mention Timber after this.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, he's on my list. He's on my list because I know who you've written down as your man of the match, but I have an argument to disagree with you on it. So,
handbags are coming out. Can feel it.
No. Let's talk Victor and Victor Gyökeres. I thought Victor had a good game. Very interesting. I don't know if you've seen any of the clips and reels that Harry Symeou put up, but I listened to one this afternoon, and he was talking about Victor Gyökeres, particularly in that game. And we talk about the physicality in the Premier League, and he's a big lad. He's a strong lad, but. Harry said that maybe he's concentrating more on the physicality rather than reading where the ball is going. And, I did, when Harry said that, I do value his opinion, but when he said that, I did recall there was a couple of times when they're running towards us, as on the side of the stand that we were in, Trevor, and he did look like he was more concentrated on the player that he was trying to hold off before naturally running onto the ball. Harry's got a good point on that, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think Harry's got a very good point on that. I was thinking exactly the same thing, that he does seem to seek out the physical part of the game before he thinks about whether he's going to get the ball. But having said that, I thought he had a great game. When he did play, I thought he did everything you would expect of a centre forward. He forced Leno into two fine saves, two different chances, right? And when Saka's shot was parried out by Leno, Gyökeres was exactly where you would want your centre forward, right in the middle, right waiting for the rebound. And the ball just come too fast and went past him. But his positional play for that, and his couple of chances, and he had one that he blazed over the bar, which he should have done better with. So he's doing everything right. And if he keeps doing that, I'm still confident the goals will come, Ferg. But I'm wondering, mate, I'll chuck one back at you boys. The way he's clearly seeking out the physical contact, Is that something that Arteta might have told him to do, boys?
Andrew?
But yeah, potentially. I mean, he's getting into the positions, isn't he? And he's getting there. And I think we've said a couple of times the ball just hasn't fallen for him to be able to take the chance. Where now he seems to be using the physicality to kind of make that a little bit more space for himself. And he has had a few more shots on target. I mean, Leno pulled off a couple of good saves from him on Saturday night. So it's coming. I was reading something today that Alan Shearer's put on. And even Shearer's come on. He said, "Look, it's going to take him a few games to settle in." I think he linked him up to Bergkamp at one point. It didn't, in that sort of way. It took him a few games to get into the stride of it, but once he did, off he went.
My nephew in the chat there, Connor. Nice to see you watching the show. No, I wouldn't be doing that. But I do think, you're right. There will come, and we are learning to play with him. He's learning to play with us. The league is far more physical than any other league. You look at the size of some of those centre backs that are playing for different teams, and they all can run. They've all got pace, and the game does move really quick. It's going to be a big step up from international football. It's going to be a big step up from Portuguese football. But I think he'll get us 15 goals this season. I'm sure if he's got 3 already. I thought if we had that penalty, which we're going to come on to in a minute, I saw Saka holding the ball, but I was hoping that he would give the ball to Gyökeres for him to get a goal. But
I think he'll get 20. And it's like the other thing to him is if you look on a chalkboard where he's like the stats after the game, where he's taken his shots from, the one that went over the bar he hit from the left-hand side of the 18-yard box, the 2 that he hit in target were from the other side. He's not actually in the middle. He's coming from angles into the 6-yard box every time. So you do kind of wonder if he just needs to drop into the penalty spot just a little bit more.
I'm not here by choice, Connor says. Ferguson said I had to drop in. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Look, right. There's a couple of comments further back, right? And Ronnie nails it, right? Ronnie says Victor takes 3 players out for Trossard to score. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that having Victor up front is creating more space for our other forward players, right? And I said this about this the other night, Kevin, our good friend. My concern isn't with Victor; it's his supply, right? I'm not concerned about any of that at the moment. But I did say, and I stand by it, right? I don't think it's for Victor to find his feet in this team. I think it's for the others to find Victor's feet, and I think it'll come. I really do think it would come. And Daniel Gunn is exactly right, Fergus Keating. I'm done with you. Why have you got the score
got the result the wrong way
as
around.
1-0 to Fulham? Why have you got the score up as 1-0 to Fulham?
Because I was just checking to see if anybody actually reads them. So now I'll change it.
Unbelievable.
Because
yeah, well done, Andrew. I've just seen your little comment.
Dear.
Is that better?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's much better.
I didn't even notice it myself, if I'm honest. That's typical me, though, isn't it? Typical me. So you mentioned Saka, and we even just Gyökeres creating space for Trossard. He also creates a lot of space for Saka. A couple of things that stood out for me for Saka. I thought he was a little bit quieter, as was Eze in the first half. Another thing that stood out is let's look at that. How did you feel his performance was in the game, Andrew? In the first half, did you feel like he was? Some of the players, Saka and Eze, they felt like they had to get into the game the first 15-20 minutes.
I think you've got to break that into 2 different subjects.
Okay,
yeah, I think you have. Yeah,
let's do Saka then.
Oh, can we go Eze first? I had that one ready. So
right, go Eze first then.
Eze's in the middle. If you watched a few times, so Fulham are playing. So when we went down the right hand side, Fulham dropped into a 5. So they were basically doubling up on Saka. Went down the left, they went into a 4. But when we had the ball in the middle from Eze got the ball, there was just no movement at all from anybody. Declan Rice was behind him, so he's not going round. Zubimendi was behind, and we were just too deep, and there was no movement around. So I don't think it was the fact that Eze was poor. I just don't think he had the options. He didn't have anywhere to go because the minute he got the ball, they were 2 and 3 on us straight away. You know what? He wants to turn, he wants to face the goal, but he didn't even have a chance to turn and sort of, to look where anybody was. The second half, we were completely different. They obviously put a rocket over him just, to get them moving. But Eze, for me, wasn't the issue. I don't just think it was everybody else. The whole team, the first half, just lacked pace.
Trevor?
I thought I've not looked at it in the depth that Andrew has, and I'm glad, Andrew, you were equipped to give that statement in, because I just thought Eze had an off day. I hadn't looked at it much further than that. I didn't think he was anywhere near his best. But once again, if Eze is taking two players, then that leaves even more space out wide for our other players. I have no concerns about Eze, by the way. You can see by when he's got the ball at his feet just what quality we've got. But, it'll come. I didn't think he played that well. Wasn't surprised to see him get subbed off after, I think it was about 61 minutes. But I've got no worries about Eze. None at all.
Zubimendi was outstanding as always. I think he's been so solid on front of the back four. I think he clearly complements them, but I think he just makes that back four even more solid. Any comments on Zubimendi's performance, Trevor?
You don't notice him a lot, but
no,
when you do focus on him, I would urge everybody, if you're watching, just take a few minutes to focus on Zubimendi, and he goes under the radar, but he's a very, very high quality player. He really plays the game.
The best players go under the radar, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Messi, people like that. They disappear in a game. I know. Don't pull me up on that one. They pull for about 20 minutes.
Berg, who's Messi?
Shut up,
Messi. I think does he play in goal for Aston Villa? No, that's Martinez, isn't it?
Don't you start, mate. The amount of times you get names wrong, you've got no chance.
I get the bloody score wrong. What are you on about?
Wrong. Yeah. but the best players go out.
I even get the wrong teams. I had Brentwood rather than Brentford one time.
Shocking. Yeah, I'll say Ferguson did up. But you can't. The best players disappear, and come back into a game. And Zubimendi's that for me. It only takes one pass or one turn on the ball for him to open the play up, and we're away.
Yeah.
Let's talk Saka. So Saka, first of all, there was one observation that both yourself, Trevor, and I noticed that there was 7 or 8 penalties. Not penalty, corner kicks. Normally, over the last multitude of games, Declan Rice takes a lot of our penalties, either on one side or both sides on some occasions. But definitely on the side, the block 5 side when we're at the Emirates, so on that side of the pitch. But every corner that was taken at Fulham was taken by Bukayo.
Yeah, it wasn't a strange one. It was a strange one because Declan's been dropping those corners perfectly on people's heads, perfectly. But yet, Bukayo was taking them, and we had 1 or 2 that went a bit astray, but otherwise all right. But a funny thing about Bukayo, I don't know if many people noticed it. Maybe Bukayo was taking the corner kicks because when we're 1-0 up, Bukayo is brilliant at limping to take the corner, right? He takes twice as long as anyone else to get to the corner. He limps, right? Good on you, Bukayo. Keep doing it, son. But halfway through the second half, when we were winning 1-0, as Bukayo was limping over to take a corner kick, the ref just came over, and it was about the only thing the ref done decent all game. Put his arm on Bukayo's shoulder, and I mean, you didn't need to hear it. You just knew that he was saying, "Come on, Bukayo, get a bit quicker to these corners now. You're wasting too much time." So Bukayo sort of goes into a really slow, drawn-out jog, but still managed to limp while he was doing it, right? It was hilarious. I found it hilarious. But, we'll talk about the ref in a bit, won't we? But listen, boys, I mean, we're purring, aren't we? We're actually purring. We're that happy about every player in our team, in our squad, aren't we? But he's back, isn't he? He's back, Ferg. He's back to his best. He's absolutely killing people. He really is.
Do you think we've actually hit top gear yet? Anywhere close?
No,
I don't know. I don't think we are.
You can't, and the old adage is you can't tell anything until at least 10 games are played. We're only 8 games in. Yes, we're 3 points clear. I think we look frightening to other teams. I think because of the work that Arteta has done over the last 5 years in getting rid of players and bringing in players. Last season we didn't have the depth in squad. We now have that, and it's each player can play in 2 or 3 different positions, and most players can play in two or three different positions. So you've got cover absolutely everywhere, and I think it is frightening many other teams. It may not frighten, say, the likes of City, who've got, or Chelsea, who've got umpteen players. But yeah, I think it's frightening Liverpool a little bit, don't you?
I do, but you know the biggest thing for me is, like last year we said that our biggest enemy last year was ourselves, because it was us. We lost that league last year because we didn't do it. This year, I don't see that happening at all. We've got, and I go back to, I think I remember who we commented on it a while ago, where this team reminds them. Oh, it was Dave Hill. He wasn't on the podcast last week, and he was saying about this team reminds him of that team that just basically just are so together and want to go and win it all, and you can just see it. And I think this year is a massive change in mentality.
Yeah, it was. Trevor, let's talk about this penalty decision. So I'm not going to show the video because we'll only get chopped out and YouTube will block us and this, that, and the other. So let's take down the banner first, and then let's show you this still image. This still image here looks like Kevin has got the ball. But when you see the video and the video replays, you can see that he gets the player first across the knee and then gets a stud to the ball and moves the ball. Now, on Twitter, Cole, I've not met Cole, but he made a really good comment on Twitter, which was Newcastle, the ball touched Pope before Pope hit Victor. The referee gave a penalty, VAR overturned it. Today, Kevin hit Saka before touching the ball. The ref gave a penalty, VAR overturned it. Which decision is right? VAR can't have it both ways, and it took 4 or 5 minutes. It's the same rule, so how can it come out with two different outcomes?
Look, right, I'm just taking a slightly different look at it, right, Ferg. I don't care whether it was given as a penalty or not, right? I don't, because it can be seen in one way, it can be seen in another way. The video clearly shows him making contact with Saka first, but was the contact enough to bring Saka down? Blah, blah. You can go on and on. What really, really, really bugs me, right, is the fact that VAR is there for clear and obvious errors, okay? Now, in other sports, correct me if I'm wrong, I probably normally am, but in other sports, like rugby in particular, they'll look at it for 10, 20, 30 seconds, and they'll say, we've got no evidence either way to say whether it was or wasn't, stick with the on-field decision, right? And they took at least 5 minutes over that. So it's not a clear and obvious area. They should have looked at it for a minute and said, right, we'll go with the on-field decision because it's such a close decision. So, and as for the consistency, Ferg, you're exactly right. It's all we want, right? It's all we want is consistency, and we don't get it. I mean, Howard Webb will probably be on the TV at some stage this week saying that they were right to not award the penalty at Fulham, but give the same excuse that he said they were right to not give to give it the other way against Newcastle. You know, when Pope touched the ball. Oh, I don't know. I'm confused about it all. But the ballpark changes every week, right? The rule, it seems to change. The rules change to suit the referee's decision most weeks, in my view, right? Keith Hackett is about the only one that says it as it is. It's worth following on social media, by the way. The ex-ref Keith Hackett, he says it as it is, and it's a pleasure to get a voice that talks like that. But yeah, just going back to where we started, I don't like dwelling on this because we're never going to change it, right? If you're not sure after a minute of looking,
it ain't clear and it ain't obvious.
It ain't clear and it ain't obvious. So stick with the referee's decision, whether that was a penalty or not a penalty. So I'm showing that I'm not taking Arsenal sides here. I'm talking about the situation, right? The on-field decision was a penalty. We've looked at it for a minute. We're still not sure. It's a penalty. We can't tell.
It comes back.
The ref didn't give the penalty. The ref didn't give the penalty. We'll look at that for a minute. Can't make up our minds. So we stick with the on-field decision. It's not a penalty.
But you know, there was another thing,
again, though, don't we? If you watch something in slow motion enough times, you're going to see a reason. If you are shown something that many times and someone's telling you that it's wrong and you see it, you're going to, your train of thought's automatically going to change, which is what we saw at Newcastle. But Trev's completely hit the nail between the eyes for me. Everything he said is absolutely bang on. If it takes that long, it's not clear, it's not obvious. His referee decision stands.
But also there's another thing as well. The image that the referee and the video angle that the referee was shown is this angle here. The angle that you see on the bit of video that I got off Twitter wasn't shown to the referee. They show them two different angles, and the two different angles favoured the decision that the VAR officials wanted to move along, in my opinion, and didn't show all the available angles. If they've got 4 angles of a camera on that ball, they should be shown all 4 angles, because the referee is only human. He may not be able to have seen the angle correctly, and they may be right in saying he contacted the ball, didn't get the player, but he got the player first. And Howard Webb's words, I think, were touching the ball shouldn't impact on contact on the player, or something like that, something along that lines. But don't you think all the images should be available?
But the image was when the referee first went over to watch the screen, the image stuck and froze for about a minute and a half on the same image. So the referee was clearing at the same picture for ages. And even on the commentary, even they were saying on the commentary, it's like, oh, something's gone wrong here. But he's still, he's obviously still waffling away in his ear about what they've seen. But at one point, the camera then goes over to Stockley Park, and the referee, the VAR referee, gets up and walks off.
Yeah,
Dan,
it's just, Dan, by the way, Dan, you're wrong, son. You're wrong.
I was going to say that.
If it was clear and obvious, they wouldn't have taken over 5 minutes to make the decision, right? It may have been the right decision. It may have been the wrong decision, according to what angle you want to look at the pictures. So it wasn't clear and obvious. I've got no problem with the decision being made and stuck to, but it wasn't clear and obvious. So they should have stuck with a referee decision on the field.
For me, I was pro VAR. I was pro technology getting involved in the game, if it meant that the right decisions were come to, even if it goes against you, at least if it's right. But more often than not, and look, I'm not blinkered to say it's a vendetta against Arsenal. It can be any team that I've seen loads of times. What was that one that was at Wolves Man United, where the Wolves keeper came out and took out a couple of seasons ago, took out the player, and it wasn't given as a penalty. It should have been a penalty and a red card. There's loads you can go through that are just so wrong.
But Howard Webb sold it to us that the referee was that the VAR was not going to intervene and re-referee the game. That's what's happening. The referee, the VAR official, is re-refereeing the game. He's given the penalty. It's in full speed, it's a penalty. It's not until you go back and watch it in slow motion that you might find something. So I must admit, refereeing the decision.
The angle that me and Dan were at, we thought it was outside the box first of all, so we were going, no, it's no penalty. But then we could see the Sky guy, his camera, and we could see it was in the box. So there was no argument with us then on there. But let's hear what Howard Webb said about VAR.
Well, the point of VAR is to stop those situations that I used to face when I made a decision on here, got into the dressing room, looked at my phone and thought, oh my goodness, how have I missed that? That shouldn't happen now. The VAR's there as that safety net. But what I don't want is situations where, there's some situations that could split opinion 60-40, not only in the public, for you guys, for the players, the coaches, also for the officials. And one VAR in 1 week will recommend a review, and in the same week, a different one won't. And I think that would create a situation where people lose faith in what it's for.
That clip, Trevor, we've played for numerous seasons now, and it's not improved.
Look, no, and it's got worse, if anything. It's got worse. But it's not going to get fixed. So, I just don't. What it does, see us talking too long about that, and we have to talk about it. I know we do, Ferg. I know we do. But for me, us talking too long about that has now soured what was a very good win for us. Because it took the shine off it for me talking about them.
But it shows not bitter about it. I'll tell you what about it. It's a fact.
I'll tell you what I was more annoyed about with the referee, and it wasn't VAR. It was one of the many occasions when a Fulham player decided he was going to go down, and the ref let the ball play on for about 10 or 12 seconds, I reckon. And we moved the ball nicely up the field into a position where we were possibly going to get a shot or threaten their goal, and then he blew and stopped it.
When he stopped it for the head injury.
That was what annoyed me even more.
If you remember the one I'm thinking about, when Zubimendi had the ball and went off with it, right? He's down on the floor. He's turned and had a look at it, and they picked up on this on the TV as well. And he's just holding. All of a sudden, he starts holding his head and turns round. So he wasn't actually holding his head for the first time.
And it was his own player that took him down anyway, because he slapped him in the chin or the face or something like that by accident. It wasn't done on purpose, but yeah.
You see, Now, this is where it can be changed, right?
But that's where
The
they should
VAR is always going to be a grey area, right? Unless we change all the officials. But situations like you just described, Andrew, where it's clear and obvious, as we use that phrase again, that the player was having a bit of a game, there should be retrospective action. That player that was pretending he's injured should be banned from the next game, or at least given a booking.
But you know what you just said there, like video, go back to Howard Webb quickly about what I'm saying about, when you go in the dressing room and you look at your phone and go, oh, I should have given that. Well, flip it round on its head. He's then gone to the screen, looked at it and gone, yeah, it's not a penalty. Gone back and watched it on his phone in full speed and gone, do you know what? I disagree. Actually, it was. We're not going to win. We're not going to get around VAR until they change the rule for me of how or when they get involved.
It's interesting that Demsek thought that Anthony Taylor refereed the game well in the comments he just put up there. Trevor and Andrew, how do you feel he refereed the game overall? I thought he was poor.
Are you going?
Go.
It's hard to see on TV. You obviously don't get as much visibility as what you do at the stadium with it at all. But sort of some of the decisions he made, I think the Fulham players played into his hands. I think he certainly sort of could have let the game flow at times when he couldn't, when we were on the attack. And obviously, we got the penalty decision, which we know was wrong. Do you know the bit that frustrates me is tomorrow night we're going to go and watch a Champions League game, and we've got an Italian referee, and he will ref that game completely different. And and we're all meant to be under the same banner. But we saw it the other week against Olympiacos, how much the foreign referees let the game flow and let it play, and they don't take any messing. And how quick the VAR decisions are.
It's more that than anything else. I think it's so quick. I do like it, and it doesn't interfere with the game. VAR check, VAR complete.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I thought apart from them two decisions we've just discussed, the referee did all right. In fairness, he wasn't. None of them are going to be special. You see, I'm sort of contradicting myself here, but put yourself in a referee's shoes in this day and age, refereeing a Premier League game. They must go out and feel petrified. They must go out and feel petrified because Howard Webb's not much of a gaffer to them, and they're on a lose-lose for a start. You know what I mean? I just want to hear consistent stories and consistent reasoning from their gaffer, right? From Mr. Webb. Stop sitting on the fence. Stop siding with your refs or all the time or most of the time, and just say it how it is and help your refs. Help them, because I wouldn't want to referee a game in the Premier League. And Simon's exactly right. Simon, let's put in the comments. We've always had a go at refs ever since I can remember going to football as a young kid. But if a referee made a decision, I call him a tosser, and we might have abused him for a minute from the crowd. But you've always got in the back of your head, humans make errors. Humans make mistakes, and VAR was meant to bring the consistency, as we just showed that clip, and it hasn't. And as I said already just now, I don't know how we fix it, but I wouldn't want to be a Premier League ref now.
You wouldn't be able to run that fast, would you?
I could run fucking faster than you, couldn't I?
You could. That's not in denial.
Well, that's it. Tomorrow night, we're having a race. First round the Emirates.
Mate, I can hardly walk to the Emirates these days, and I was absolutely shattered after. You get
to the Ken Fry Bridge, you've had enough, mate.
Yeah, I have. I'm just like, oh, and it's just as well I don't like that song when they start, oh, you figure it, because I can't utter a word. Get to the top of those stairs, and listen, there was a couple of ex-Arsenal players on. Three of them featured for Fulham: Bert Leno, Alex Iwobi, and Emile Smith-Rowe. All got good receptions, Trevor, didn't they? I thought it was good respect from that. What you already said, fantastic away support.
Yeah, I thought Leno reminded us just what a fine goalkeeper he is. He was a decent goalkeeper for us. I think he got player of the season one season. A very fine goalkeeper, Bert Leno, and it was down to him that the score stayed so close because he made some fine saves. I thought Alex Iwobi looked better for Fulham than he ever did for us. He looked like he'd bulked out and got a bit more confident on the ball, and he was cutting in field a bit more, and he looked a bit better. And then, of course, Smith Rowe comes on as a substitute, who we've all known since he was a young kiddie, and got a raucous welcome from the Arsenal fans. So yeah, I was pleased with all three of them. To be honest, I was pleased they were on the losing side, but I was pleased they played well. To be honest.
Yeah. What else have I got on here? We had, there was, I think that's everything on that. Trossard, the goal came from a set piece. Saka took a corner. Rice played it on, and Trossard was there on the back post to pick up from it. And it
Gabriel
added to
played it on.
What's that?
Gabriel.
Was it Gabriel? It was Gabriel. I
flipped
thought it was Rice. Sorry. Okay, Gabriel played it on.
Yeah, they look alright.
Yeah, they do just a little. They're both tall. Andrew, take it from there. Go and talk to us about it.
Go back to the comment we said earlier on about sort of the how many times the ball didn't beat the first defender, or so it was getting a bit frustrated. But it's a cracking corner. And Gabriel again just muscles his way to the front. Gyökeres takes players away, and it's come off Trossard's knee. How much of you knew about it? I'm not quite sure, because if it comes off your knee the way it did, it's probably just hit him and it's gone in. But you know what? I'll take it. And if we have another 20 odd games of 1-0 to the Arsenal like that, bring it on.
Hold that thought. Trevor, we'll take that song for the next 30 games of the season, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would love to go to every game for the rest of the season, and be bored senseless because we're not playing very well, but we win every one of them 1-0, and then we win the league. I'll take it all day long. I will take it all day long.
And I suppose you mentioned it earlier, the away support of his. Trevor, that away support is just unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a new one on me. Trossard again. It's but it was just so proud of him. Didn't
Trossard
stop
again,
from start to finish.
Trossard again has been around for a while.
Yeah, I know. And he deserves it now, to be honest, if I'm honest. I'll take that comment back, because he's scoring lots of goals and making lots of goals. He's doing exactly what we would want him to do. So, yeah, just looking at the comments as well, 30 more of them. Yeah, that'll do. Daniel Gunning's having a little poppy at Ferg. I'll only leave that up there for a second, mate.
Yeah, there's a few people. Listen, that's my job. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for the ridicule, and I know my place. Right. Let's have a look at this graphic here. 1-0 loss to Newcastle. 1-0 loss to West Ham. 1-1 draw to Fulham. That was last season. This season, it's 2-1 Arsenal away at Newcastle. 2-0 at home to West Ham, and 1-0 away to Fulham. That's a net gain of 8 points, but because of the loss at Liverpool and the draw at City at home, we're a cumulative gain of 7 points on this point last year. It's looking good, Trev. It's looking really good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's too soon, Ferg. It is looking good. You wouldn't want it any other way, mate, would you? You wouldn't want it any other way, you know. But it's too soon. We just got to enjoy the ride and see where we end up, you know. I mean, I saw on social media today someone just saying, we've got to go on and win it now. We'll go on and win it now. We've got to go on and win it now. We're in front. And last season, that same person was calling for Arteta to be sacked because we were crap, you know. So it's too soon to be saying any of those things. That's a comparison I'm making with them comments. I'm really happy with where we are, Ferg. I wouldn't want to be in any other place. I still wish we had the extra point that we lost at Liverpool, because they'll never score another goal like that again. But yeah, if you're going to choose to be anywhere, you want to be right on that top of that table, don't you?
But
Yes,
these are the
we
games,
do.
isn't it? So we said, didn't we, a few weeks ago, that we had 5 big games coming up that we needed to take 15 from 15. Because when we look at who we had, we dropped points against that graph you just shown. That goes back to the mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've done 14 draws. We need to turn 10 of those draws into wins at least. Before we move on to tomorrow night's game, as with every podcast, and I'm prompted by a text I've just received, which is some good news, because a friend of mine hadn't been heard of for a few days, so we're all a bit worried yesterday. But thankfully, we've heard from the guy, and it's just Andy's Man Club. If you're going through a storm, they're good people to reach out to. There's their contact details on there, and they always use the phrase, "It's okay to talk." Trevor?
Yeah, same. Just you can find them details. You just Google Andy's Man Club, or you look on any of our Twitter feeds, and it's on there. And it's good to talk. Difficult to talk. Accept that it's so difficult to talk when you're down. It really is. It's the last thing you want to do, but it is the thing to do. So yeah, and we're all listening.
Next up, huge game tomorrow night. We play Simeone's Atletico Madrid at the Emirates at 8 o'clock kickoff. Massively, massively, massively important. This winning this virtually qualifies us into the 24 that should go through. No, but mathematically, it gets you to that sort of level. And we have been successful against. I had it up here against Spanish teams. Arsenal have won the last 6 Champions League matches against Spanish teams. They're the first team to achieve that in European Cup or Champions League history. Trevor, talk to me about this game and how important it is, because it's your words on here that are massively important to win.
Well, it is, look, right. All of the Champions League games are important, but with this league format, I think it's really important to get off to that really good start. We've won the first 2, right? And I always thought we would win the first 2. But I looked at this game and I thought these are different. Atletico Madrid can play, and they've got a great manager, and they'll come there tomorrow night. I honestly think they might come to stifle us, play the low block, and go for the draw. Which wouldn't be such a bad thing as long as we don't lose the game. But it'd be like if we win tomorrow, we win the first 3. And as Fergus just said, stands us in a great position for what we've got coming. We go to Prague after this and hopefully getting a result there. And then we've got the big one, haven't we? We've got Harry Kane and Bayern Munich at home, and that'll be a real test. So the more games we win early on, the more comfortable we can feel going into the later part of the competition. But get a win tomorrow, 3 wins from 3 games in the Champions League. We couldn't ask for any more. We're right up there as favourites to win the competition, and I believe rightfully so. We were nearly there last year, and we come up against an inspired goalkeeper who played so well. But we are good enough, and it's exciting, isn't it? We've had years in Europe where we thought where we're going to go, what we're going to do, but it's so exciting. Everything about the football club is exciting. But Europe is the one for me. Get a win tomorrow, get 3 wins under your belt, and then we're away and get finishing in that top 6. And what I do like about our 8 games to start with this season is that our last game is possibly the weakest side in the competition at home. So if we did need something, fingers crossed we'd get it. But yeah, I'm excited for our chances, Ferg. I'm so excited for our chances in Europe, especially with the squad we've got now. We can afford to put our strongest side out because if they get injured, we've got stronger players to come in. Everything's lined up for me. My fingers are crossed, my toes are crossed. I'm going to go to every game in Europe because it excites me greatly. I've got a feeling I've booked an hotel in Budapest and I might not be getting ahead of myself, Ferg.
I'd done that when the Europa League final was there and ended up doing 5 days of the holidays with the wife. Andrew, if we win tomorrow, it's our 100th Champions League proper victory. And we've won the last 14 UEFA competition group stage or league phase games at home. And we've won 11 in a row without conceding a goal. The way our defence is at the minute, I think should we win this game tomorrow, when we win this game, we should make that 12, don't you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't. I don't think Atletico Madrid will sit back on us either. I think they'll come at us. I don't think Simone knows how to do it any different, which will play into our hands and hopefully give Gyökeres a bit more space up front. It'd be interesting to see who he decides to play on the left. Will he play Trossard or will he bring Martinelli in for a bit of pace up on down that left hand side? But the key for me tomorrow night is that there's that midfield battle again. So I think Gonzalez is meant to be out, but there's a rumor going around he's going to be back in, which is going to be a big boost for them. But if for us, again, the biggest player tomorrow night is going to be that midfield. So it's going to be Zubimendi, Rice. But does he play Eze in the 10 tomorrow?
Well, if you don't have Odegaard, you would play him, I think, in the 10. I wouldn't be starting Nwaneri there. I think it's just a big start in a very important game. There are other games that we can use Nwaneri in and downwind, etc. But I wouldn't look. Atletico are without a win in 9 of their previous group stage and league phase games against English teams. They've drawn 4 and lost 5. But listen, they have not scored in all but one game out of 18 in the Champions League group stages or league phases. So it's probably likely that they may score a goal, but with our defence, I think it's going to be difficult for them.
Great battle.
What's that?
Yeah, great battle. Big great battle.
Especially,
let's remember, this is a team that beat Real Madrid 5-2. So they're no mugs. So they're going to come.
Exactly. They are no mugs at all. It's going to be a hell of a game. It really is. David asks us, boys, what's more important, win tomorrow or win against Palace on Sunday?
Both.
Cool. Tell me now, David, you're going to think I'm sitting on the fence. Me, I'm going to go to I'll let the boys say over in a minute. But every game's important, mate, simply because we're in with a chance of winning every competition. We really are. So every game is important for me, mate. I couldn't tell you any different there. Boys?
I agree because winning breeds winning. So winning as much as we can. I just have to win every game. I think the Champions League ones, as you said earlier, to try and get to that point where we've got the job more or less done by the time Bayern Munich come to the Emirates. If we get a result this week and a result out in Prague. So I think that's important. And the league's the league. We have to keep on going in the league. 1-0, 30 times.
I don't want to be going to no playoff game. Top 6 or top 8, whatever it is for me.
Top 8. Yeah. We want top 4.
Yeah.
Because
get the home leg second this time, don't we? So we don't get screwed over like we did last year.
Exactly.
And what's your thoughts on David's comment then? Which is more important to win?
Earth calling Andrew.
I'm going both. Sorry, mate. I'm thinking, but I'm going to right answer. I'm sitting on the fence as well. I agree. I think we've got to go and win tomorrow night. But then we've got a long rest in between that, so then we can go and beat Palace on Sunday. And I think both games are massive. And let's just go and get behind the boys and get those points on the board.
Fergie's another one here, mate. Come on, boy. Let's answer this question. This is a really good one from Adam. I know we'd all say we'd take both, but if you could only have one, a Champions League or a Premier League, what would you prefer us to win? Champions League or Premier League, Ferg?
I've always maintained that I'd rather see if I had to pick one, would be the Premier League because it's a bigger and a harder competition to win. And I've never seen us lift the Premier League as a match-going fan. I've seen it living in North London and on the streets and stuff, but I've never seen it as a match-going fan. That being said, I'd love to be champions of Europe and shove that right up everybody's pipe when they sing it to us.
Andrew?
So I'm still sat on the fence.
I don't like this question because it's like whichever way you go, you're going to get it wrong. I kind of agree. I kind of agree with Fergie. It's like I'd like us to win the Premier League for the first time in 20 years, but then we've never won the Champions League, so we want to go and win that. Yeah. There's that argument. Is it harder to win the Champions League now than it was before? Probably. You got let's be honest. You've got the European Super League. Is what it should be called now. So
I get selfish here. I get really selfish here, boys. Yeah, you're right, David. I know we've had that conversation before.
You know what he's going to say, don't you?
I've seen us win everything, right? I've been a very lucky man in my lifetime. I've seen us win everything, right? And I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So the last thing to see is the Champions League. So purely from a selfishness perspective, I want to see us win the Champions League while I'm still young enough to go and celebrate the win. So yeah, it's the Champions League for me. Although I'm not fussy, I'll take anything. And Demsek just said, "How do we?" I'm not going to put the comment up because I'm conscious I'm wasting good time here, Ferg. I'm sorry, mate. How do we feel about the Arsenal being one of the favourites to win the Champions League? Well, it's a simple answer for me, Kev, mate. I think we're deservedly one of the favourites to win the Champions League because we're one of the best teams in Europe with some of the best players in Europe. So, it's deservedly that we're favourites, one of the favourites.
Trav, as well, Theo's not forgotten what you promised him if we win the Champions League.
Oh, no. I didn't say I'd kiss him on nothing, did I?
No, you said that you give him a season ticket.
Oh, right. Yeah, fair enough. No, I don't. I wouldn't do that because you're not allowed to give season tickets away, Andrew.
Sorry, no, you said, sorry, no, sorry.
I'll talk to you later.
A couple of questions that were starred in the chat. There was one from Irish Mick. Gyökeres is doing well, and he never stops. We talked about his work rate earlier. With Havertz soon to be back fit, who do you start, boys?
Gyökeres.
And why?
Because Because he's going to come good. He's going to, and I think he's that full. He is that number 9 that we need. He just needs. The guy needs a break. That's all he needs. He needs one to go in off his shin or off his arse or what, just something, just to go in the back of the net, just to get him going. But for me, I think when he does get firing, I think he'll be that 20-25 goal striker that we need. Havertz for me is a slightly different player. I think he's a great goal scorer and he's a phenomenal chaser of the ball and he presses. But he's just a different player. But for me, it's still Gyökeres.
I'm sitting on the fence again because I trust our manager and he'll pick strikers for games. He may well even drop Havertz a bit deeper for a game and play Havertz and Gyökeres.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I've got no problem with it whatsoever. Whoever our gaffer picks, he has my full confidence. So I don't care as long as we keep winning. Yeah, Ronnie, I know exactly what you mean as well, mate. Changing the subject quickly. That's Ronnie. That sentence from Ronnie there sums up my view exactly. I don't know where it came across in words, but that sentence, yeah, Ronnie, us older fans, mate, we've got to see him win it before it's too late. Sorry.
Yeah, no, so worries. There was one other one from it looks like a new viewer on YouTube, and it's Charles 87 DFW. Fergus, I want to analyze our competition a little bit. What's wrong with Liverpool? It's yours. It's in yours, Andrew and Slim's opinion. Slim must be you. Is it Slot's tactics? Are the Premier League winning that that they won it? It's not written very well, but yeah.
Don't you blame his writing? You read it.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah.
It looks like it was written by me. So is it Slot or is it because they've already won the Premier League? Is it a change of tactics? Well, what do you think, Trevor?
I think it's Slot. I think Slot walked into that team with a fully made team last year. He didn't have to do a thing because they were firing all cylinders. They were there. This year, it's not gone quite right, has it? He's brought in some new signs that haven't hit the ground running. He's actually got a job to do, and that's where I think he's falling.
Well, thanks for those words, Trev. That was fantastic, mate.
I said it, mate. Said just like a true Slim man, that mate, wasn't it? Eh?
See, Ferg ain't noticed what I've changed me title to there, is he? You know. Yeah. Look, I don't care about Liverpool. I'm just wallowing in the fact that they've lost 4 games, and I don't think they've got the best manager there. I don't think they're going to be up there to win the league this season. You've only got to look at where we are. We're 8 games in, right? They won their first 5 games, but by God, they were lucky. How lucky were they? They were so lucky. And then the luck's run out a bit and they've lost. So I don't care about Liverpool. I'm pleased that Slot's the manager. I really am, because I think, as Andrew just said, he's losing Klopp's team now. He's losing Klopp's mentality. And what about? I mean, I said it, didn't I? Right? I said it when we went there. I didn't even know Salah was on the field playing. And now they're talking about him being rubbish a couple of weeks later. You know, it's all gone to pot there, and it's wonderful, boys, and it's amazing.
Isn't it lovely? Isn't it lovely?
You'll never
Personally,
walk alone.
Do you know what?
personally, I
though?
think it's probably.
they-
Sorry,
Go on.
can I get my opinion in?
No, you're not allowed. You're just
Okay.
you're the host. We're
Okay.
we're the commentators. You're the host.
Go on.
Go on.
Go on.
Go on. I was going to
Oh,
say
I
all
can,
it was. Yes. No, you can't now. Yesterday, when the two players collided, and they sort of then United went on and scored, it was brilliant because the amount of Twitter and they've just exploded with it all. It's all against us, and it's all about this.
We would have gone mad too. VVD should have not worried about the guy on the floor. He should have actually just concentrated on doing his job. But you know what? I watched that game yesterday, and Van Dijk, everyone is saying is awful, but I think it's Van Dijk trying to cover for everybody else in that defense who is awful. You know, I think Salah's not getting the service he used to get from Trent. I think Slot, as you rightly said beforehand, inherited a wonderful team, and he went and won the league with Klopp's team, and now he's trying to manage his own team. He's looking a little bit of, you know, I don't know. John Malone said it's just another Dutch manager. They'll flatter to deceive, and maybe I think he might be right.
Do you know, right? I'm not having that about Van Dijk, Ferg. Although you're my mate, I'm not having it. I know. I watched it, and if you turn Van Dijk around and make him run back towards goal, look at Man United's first goal yesterday. That was all down to Van Dijk running back towards goal, not picking up his man, not covering, not having the pace to get there, or not reading the game quickly enough to have the pace to get there. Man United's first goal was solely on the shoulders of Virgil van Dijk, who had got turned around and had to run back towards goal. He's gone out of the game. That's my view, and I'm sticking.
You know what?
Do you know what? My God, I've just noticed, Ferg. How slim do I look this evening? Eh? Come on.
I don't know if anybody saw him, but he was pictured at Fulham with his shirt off again.
Oh, Ferg, that's well done, Ferg. How did you think of doing that, mate? How did you think of doing that, Ferg?
I don't know, Trevor. It wouldn't be a picture of you that you sent to me talking about how slim you've got. So yeah. I thought that was funny. There we go. Then. So I won't play the chicken one. I won't play the chicken one. Honestly, I promise I won't.
As you can see, while the comments coming in, everyone's rolling over laughing, Ferg. Yeah. You've upset me that much now. I'll just get off here and give Andy's Man Club a call, eh?
What you talking shit for?
Right, I'm going through all these and deleting them all tomorrow. It'll be goodbye.
Right, you can.
Actually, I might do it now.
Right. Anything to add before I press that button?
Yeah.
Far away.
Absolutely. Far away. Listen, right. Scrappy 1-0 wins, exactly like Saturday, win leagues. Scrappy 1-0 wins, win leagues. Don't complain about having us not looking at our best and getting a 1-0 win. That is fantastic. That is what we want. Find a way to win a game when a team's playing like Fulham, who didn't want to come and play football, who wanted to go down at the easiest opportunity, who wanted to pass the ball sideways, who didn't want to come out of defence. You find a way to beat them teams, and we found a way. Move on. 1-0. Thank you. And the last thing, right? I've got the right ump with David Raya. I've got the right ump with David Raya. I'm not happy with him at all. The geezer's stealing a wage, right? I could go in goal at Arsenal at the moment and we keep clean sheets. You know what I mean? He needs to start doing some work. He needs to start going up front and heading a corner or something, because he's doing nothing at the moment, Raya. I'm not happy.
Before we go, Trevor has had his meltdown, and
I can't believe you just slated David Raya, but it's all funny anyway. But it's good.
Yeah, it is funny. Dan's involved with some committees and stuff at Arsenal. He's doing some great work behind the scenes that is helping with the atmosphere, like what we do on Block 5 at the concourse. Dan's taking it to another level, and one of the things that the club have posted is that they're doing a light show that you can use your phone ahead of the game against Atletico tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, not me either. But look, it's not everybody's cup of tea. But if you're in there and you want to participate, you just need to make sure that the app that you've got, the Arsenal app, where you get your ticket from, is the up-to-date one. and then follow the QR codes that are all over the screens and they'll be on leaflets and everything else in the ground. They had it on before. Yeah, it was okay. I don't think the app worked totally right, but you just need to download the app, which, yeah.
More important, we just need to get the atmosphere bouncing pre-kickoff. We just need to make sure it's a massive roar when those lads walk out tomorrow night and Atletico know they come for a game, because we just need to make sure we play them off the park and take the 3 points away. No matter what goes, what lights we've got, whatever else we've got, let's go smash them.
Exactly. Yeah. And as for the downloading the app and using the light show on my phone, my battery goes dead quicker than anything I know, and I ain't having no light show. But good luck to everybody that does it, and that's exactly the point. We don't all have to want the same or do the same. Just support whatever we do. If you like it, support it from the front. If you don't like it, support it because it's doing something. But stand back a bit. Don't run it down. Just support it from a distance. You know,
absolutely. You know what? The North London Forevers. It's not some people's cups of tea, but the majority are. So I think for those people, we should just remind them what that song is. Listen to that noise. It's absolutely immense, especially when the music goes down and they start singing it. Andrew, thank you as always for joining us. I know it's been a big day at work and everything else. I was sat on London traffic for 5 hours today. It's only done 50 miles. It's just shocking. Trevor was out underwear shopping, weren't you, Trevor?
I was, because me pants had got too big. Me nuts were hanging out the side. Right? And it's so uncomfortable. So I've had to go down a few sizes, and now I'm nice as snug as a bug in a rug I am.
That's what you want to close the show on it. About Trev and his tiny whities. That's not what you want.
I thought he was going to react slightly differently to that, but that's fair enough. You have been watching Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Get up behind the Arsenal, and we'll see you on Friday. Up the Arsenal, Fox Spurs.
Thanks for listening to Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Follow us on Facebook at Guns and Yellow Ribbons or Twitter at Guns and Ribbons. And remember to rate and review us too. Up the Arsenal.